Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a very sweet tale to tell. Carl doesn't drink. Carl has 2 Corona Lights and a wine cooler a year after an incident in 1979. Carl was a big guy. He was on the swim team. He was buff. He was just a really big guy. But he was also, you know, pretty chill. And so one night, his friends Andy and Fred come over and they say, "You have got to come out drinking with us tonight." And Carl said, No. They said, "Yes, you're coming out drinking with us. You're going to have a good time." So Carl says, "All right." They live in St. Louis, Missouri, and they hit the town in Carl's Buick Skylark, going bar after bar, getting pitcher after pitcher, shot after shot, mixed drink after mixed drink, until Carl has lost it. He is drunk. He's screaming out stuff that he doesn't know what he's saying. You know, he's a swimmer, so he can drink like a fish, as it were. He finds out. And at one point, he stumbles out of a bar in Columbia, Missouri, and he gets on top of the Buick Skylark, and he's just screaming up at the stars at anyone who will listen to him. And then Carl barfed. Carl barfed a lot. Carl, the way that I see it in my head always is that it was an oscillating sprinkler for a while off the Buick Skylark, and then after a while it was kind of when the sprinkler's been on a little too bit. So Fred and Andy kind of realize, oh man, we got to get Carl home. But Carl says, no. I have to go to Deborah's house. I have to go to Deborah's house. And Deborah is his girlfriend at the time. Deborah lives out in Fenton, Missouri, on a big farm at her mom's house. A very, very small house, huge farm. So Fred and Andy kind of look at each other and they go, all right, well, he wants to go. Carl says, just take me to see Deborah. Take me to see Deborah. They throw him in back of the now soiled Buick Skylark, and they drive out to Fenton, Missouri. And it's 3 in the morning, and Fred and Andy are bringing Carl, who is a huge guy, up to Deborah's mom's house out in the middle of nowhere, knocking on the door. And Deborah opens up the door, and she is not happy. She can see the situation in front of her, and it does not look good. Fred and Andy simply drop Carl on the floor. He hits, boom. He is there for the night. He is knocked out cold on the middle of the floor. He wakes up the next day, and guess what he has to do in 4 hours? That's right, get married. Because that was his unofficial bachelor party. And he has to get married to Deborah in about 4 hours with the worst hangover he's ever had. Now, the way I go through it in my head is that Carl might have chickened out at the last moment. He might have just jumped ship, but having that last night of freedom to get everything out of his system, because it was sure as hell out by that point, really made him go through with it. And again, this is a story about how a good idea at the time became a great idea at the time, because Carl and Deborah are my parents. And without them, they would not be celebrating their 30-year anniversary in St. George, Utah right now, and I would not be here to tell you folks this lovely story.